Hello everybody and welcome to this video of myself and Mr. Alistair Penman, and we're back today to talk to you about affordable clarinet mouthpieces, specifically student clarinet mouthpieces by Buffet, Yamaha and Windcraft. These are three plastic mouthpieces designed for people who are in the early years of their playing, so either brand new beginners or if you've been doing a year or two and you just want something better than what came with your original instrument. Now, we've got Alistair here, obviously, as the player, and he is a professional player with years of experience, so you could argue, well, he's going to sound good on everything. Well, maybe that's true, but maybe it's also about how hard it is for him to sound good and how hard these things are for him to play. And also, Alistair, your experience with teaching people, and you've seen people make these upgrades and first changes, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really worth considering mouthpieces at quite an early stage, because if you set off and you've got a rubbish mouthpiece to start with, you could be finding things really hard work, not knowing that actually just a new mouthpiece, relatively inexpensive, could make a huge difference to your progress.
Yeah, and when we say the mouthpieces can vary, there's a number of things that can change in the internal and the external designs, including the chamber inside, the accuracy of the facing, which is this area where the reed is placed upon, and the tip as well. So it looks simple. A clarinet mouthpiece should just be a clarinet mouthpiece in theory, but there's so many things that can differ and be better or worse that it can make a huge difference to how you play. Obviously, clarinet is and any wind instrument is such a physical thing. You have to emit the sound through the reed vibrating, etc. So let's just hear the three back to back. We're going to start with them in expense order. So we're going to start with the most expensive, which is the Buffet. Then we're going to come to the Yamaha, and we're using a Yamaha 5C, and we'll talk a bit more about the options on those later. And then we're going to play the Windcraft, which is the cheapest, third. And then Alistair and I will have a bit of a discussion about them after that playing demo. So, Alistair, if you want to take it away with the Buffet first. Very nice. So those are the three back to back, I suppose I should say. I've got some thoughts about them from a sound point of view. I'm just going to jump to you in a second, Alistair. I just wanted to briefly say about the pricing. Prices do vary, so do check the links that we've got in the little cards and below the video about the latest pricing. But roughly the Buffet's around £60, the Yamaha's around £50, and the Windcraft's actually around 20 or just over £20. So quite a difference. Third of the cost, in fact, of the Buffet. But tell me your thoughts, Alistair, about those three in particular, and for your point of view, and maybe from a prospective student's point of view as well.
Well, hearing the prices, I would say the Windcraft is an absolute steal. I mean, it's interesting playing them all. They all feel relatively similar. They're all quite nice mouthpieces, all very nice to play. It's noticeable actually the Windcraft is less resistant than the other two. I really like the feel of the Windcraft. It's got a real directness, real kind of freedom to the sound. In comparison, the Buffet is probably, I don't know if it's the right word, but I find it slightly stuffy in comparison. It's maybe just more resistant. And it kind of, which one you prefer will depend on your style of playing, what you like the feel of. Everyone likes different feels. But I find, yeah, the Buffet is kind of the most resistant, the Windcraft the least resistant, and the Yamaha kind of sits quite nicely in the middle. I mean, for me, from a sound point of view, probably between the Windcraft and the Yamaha for me. Just depending on what you want. The Windcraft, again, probably a little bit brighter, and the Yamaha a little bit darker sounding. But they're all very easy to play. They all work really nicely up and down the whole range, no intonation problems on any of them. So really, you can't go that wrong with any of these.
And we've been using a Van Doren 3 blue box?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so Van Doren 3 blue box reed. And you can see Alistair's using his own ligature just for ease, because we had the gear out, we've been doing the videos. And a ligature is something you can explore to, again, change the sound, change the feel, change the emission, perhaps, of the sound as well. But that's really interesting what you said about the Windcraft. Obviously, the Yamaha for many years has been the sort of go-to mouthpiece, hasn't it? Yeah. But I do think if the price is super important to you, genuinely, I think the Windcraft is a really, really safe option. We get them made in the USA by Babbitt, which is a very famous manufacturer of mouthpieces. It's to one of our designs, a colleague of mine, Professor Anton Weinberg, who originally designed that about 20 years ago now to be a really good student mouthpiece. So that's worth considering. Any other final thoughts, Alistair, before we go, vis-a-vis student mouthpieces generally, your choice?
Not a huge, I mean, just to say really these three are some of the best options out there. It's well worth, if you've bought a clarinet and it's come with a mouthpiece, you don't know what it is, it's unbranded, it's not playing nicely, it's well worth exploring these mouthpieces because you might be amazed how much difference it can make.
Yeah, absolutely. Great, well thank you very much. Thank you for your playing, Alistair, and thank you for watching. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and keep tuned for all the latest videos coming out. Every week we put something out to do with woodwind or brass related gear and instruments and accessories and playing tips as well. If you check back through some of our playlists, you'll find stuff like that. But for now, thank you very much, and we'll speak to you again very soon.